Temperatures will crash, falling like a rock from near 60 down to the 30s tomorrow night. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Morning Star Baptist Church loves its family, its community, and its country, but most importantly, loves Jesus Christ. Hear their ministry Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WSIC.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC. Bad and the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
All right, welcome everyone to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. We're happy to be back with you again this week. I know the sheriff is at a very important committee meeting for the Sheriff's Association. As you know, he was the past president and held the other board members. Now he is part of the executive board, and so lots of important legislature and items he has to handle. So he looked at me and said, "Matt, you better come up with something."
Good.
So we've got a few things coming up in the next few weeks, month or so that you are a part of. This is Sergeant Patrick Dixson.
Yes, this is Captain Matt and Sergeant Pat.
Yeah, that's right. I remember we did that a while back.
We like that a long time ago.
Yes, Captain Matt and Sergeant Pat. So Sergeant Pat's been with us for
over a decade now.
Yes, I was going to say around 10 years.
Yep.
So I know you started out just like all of us and worked your way up, and we worked together on the road down the cops unit
for about a week and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I think I got to be your supervisor for about that long.
Yeah, Captain Matt supervised me for about a week and a half, and I remember you called me and said, "Hey, we're buddies, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've liked you so far," and you're like, "Cool, I got promoted." I'm like, "Oh, well, congratulations! I'll be seeing you soon, I suppose."
Yeah, exactly right. And so now you're up in the big house next door to us. You're with the Special Victims Unit.
Yes, sir.
And so that's a big unit. I know that Sheriff Campbell's grown that quite a bit over the last few years, obviously for the amount of crimes, but the, I guess, specialities, if I can say.
Yes.
So go ahead and talk about your unit real quick. Tell us about that. How long have you been in SVU?
So I've been with the Special Victims Unit since 2017. Before that, I was in the community-oriented unit with you.
Right.
But in 2017, about March, I was moved to sex crimes. That's one of our divisions in the Special Victims Unit. So I worked that for a while. Some of the other units in our division, the Special Victims Unit, is our economic crimes, is our domestic violence, our sex offender registry, our deputies that make sure people are where they need to be and when they need to be there. But yeah, my time in terms of that, after I worked sex crimes, I worked fraud for a little bit. So those are really my two expertises, if you will. Not to say I'm an expert at anything, because we're all learning. So, but
well, you know a lot more than I do. So in my business, you're my expert.
Maybe
if I call you, you answer those questions.
I'm an expert when convenient.
Yes.
Yes.
What is that? The rules that we follow for incident command systems? You are in charge until someone of greater knowledge or experience or rank shows up.
And my goodness, if someone's been there about 3.5 minutes before me, they can handle it, right?
They got it. You'll just stay on the outside.
You've been here longer. Go for it.
So you said sex crimes, and I want to give a plug for your family, your beautiful wife, and you've got two now, or just
I have two little menaces running around.
That's what I was thinking, and I remember you telling me that having those children kind of changed your attitude towards because I remember way back in the day in training, just serving when we did our CID time, working with SVU. There was somebody that we got for like $1 million bond on some type of sex crime, some adult child thing, and I remember like, wow, that's really making a difference. That's doing something for the victim.
Yeah.
But as a parent, you can really identify with the victims, because some of these child victims can be like your child's age.
Oh yeah, I mean there was a incident where I had an abuse case that was right around the age of my child, and it's hard not to kind of associate them with
Mhm.
what you see at home.
Hmm.
But you learn, and we have trainings for that sort of thing to try and you know keep your mental
Right,
health
right,
up and
right.
everything else.
Yep. And that's why it's good to have those experts. And I say experts because, that extra training. Uh,
Hmm.
you guys use forensic interviewing
Correct.
when you're able to talk to those kids
Mhm.
in a certain way that you can get the information you need without them being further feeling victimized.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yep. That's very important to have.
Mhm.
I think you forgot to mention domestic violence as part of your unit too.
We're gonna
Did
have
you
to
say
play it
that?
back. I think I did shout them
Did
out,
you?
but yes, we do have
Okay.
domestic
Okay. All right.
violence
All right.
detectives.
Because I know that's one of our topics today. We're going to talk about a few
Mhm.
things today. We're going to talk about the RAD program. We just got a couple more minutes. We'll keep talking, but we're going to talk about the RAD program. Talk about some of the things that's going on as far as Christmas time is here, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, I don't know where the camera's at, but I'm wearing my polar bear tie. Very,
that is
very
right.
festive.
Look at that.
Unlike the weather, it's not very frightful. So
No.
there's my dad joke for the session.
Yes, you might have to play that back to
Yeah,
get the
that'll
laugh.
be on
We can
repeat.
cue the laugh. In
Yeah,
there,
where's
so.
the laugh track at? Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the things to do when you have your family over.
Yeah.
Like the whole Griswold family's
Mhm.
Christmas. Cousin Eddie's out there, right? He's
Yeah,
bringing
the
the
snowblower
RV.
and everything else, right? Why not?
Yep. So, but anyway, so I digress. So we've got a few press releases we'll talk about, and I am live up on Facebook. I wanted to make sure that I've got that feed here. So, unfortunately, you can call into the studio, but we can't get you here. So we're not able to get any questions on live on the air from you guys here in the studio. And we are here at the wonderful Purple Heart Homes, and we appreciate those guys hosting us and being here. And Joe always does a good job getting us going here. So uh, I don't see the Facebook feed. Maybe I'm not holding my mouth right. Either way, you guys can send me a message or send us a message if there's any questions you have as we go through today. Our message today, again, talking about the holidays, talking about the
Yep.
RAD class.
Yep.
That RAD class, you're going to be an instructor.
I will. I
Okay.
will be there.
All right. So rape, aggression, defense,
Correct.
specifically.
Mhm.
And it is a national recognized program.
It is.
So you got beat up to be able to teach it.
Yes, and I continue to get beat up every session. I mean, usually I'm one of the people that gets beat up, which is a gift and a curse.
Right.
Not a
Right.
huge fan of getting beat up, but if it's
Mhm.
for the greater good, then kind of signed up for that, didn't I?
So you're an expert in getting beat up too. So that's
At work, yes.
you're-
At work,
So
yes.
tell us about it's a free class.
It is.
We're still you're getting the emails now. We got ladies signing up. It's ladies only, and it's any age, any ability, I guess
Mhm.
you'd say. You go at your own pace. What you can do.
Yes. So I was not usually an instructor that received the sign up emails. So
Yes.
I was clearly in the dark about how many people
Right.
are signing up. I think already, and this is just ballparking it,
Yeah.
we're at 15 or 20.
Yes, we are.
And it's a lot, and it's a little bit overwhelming. I can't even
Yes.
sift through all of the emails to get past them.
Yeah.
But yeah, even in just looking at the general demographic information that we do get for that,
Mhm.
you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And it is just like every rad class, general age difference. I think
Right.
the youngest one we've got so far is 20, and I saw one that was 77 or
Right.
something like
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
And we will work with you according to whatever skill level and physical ability you may have, and we'll make sure you get the training. you
And
need.
don't worry. That 15 or 20. Don't be overwhelmed.
No.
Unfortunately, 30% of those will forget, not show up.
Mhm.
Another 15, 20% could be sick on the day of. And, it's not costing you ladies anything. So obviously, if something comes up and you can't make it, we understand. But we do have several instructors that are going to be there that day. And we want you to come. It's a great mother-daughter thing.
It is.
It's a great family thing. And we're able to kind of make that difference in those lives. So, yep, and we'll talk more about that. What time is our break, Joe? I'm at 3:15. Okay. All right. So wrapping it up. Okay. Guys, again, we'll be back here at the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty just in a few moments. And check out our Facebook, and you can see more information about the RAD. If you got any questions, give those to us, and we'll be right back here in just a few minutes.
Steady, even heavy at times through the early afternoon. Then we start to dry it out. Temperatures will crash falling like a rock from near 60 down to the 30s tomorrow night. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like ISI Denver.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Drawn wagon rides, Santa visits, food vendors, warm beverages, and carolers are all part of the festivities. A classic Christmas in Mooresville promises a nostalgic and heartwarming experience for the whole family this Friday in downtown. Join the Gingerbread House Workshop this Saturday in downtown Statesville. Fun Christmas activities for kids take place at 10:30 a.m., 11:15, and noon at the Watering Hole on West Broad Street. All supplies are provided and fun for all ages. Registration is required. Visit Gingerbread Workshop for Kids on Facebook for details. The Town of Troutman Jingle Run 5K takes place on Sunday. The race will run through the Town of Troutman starting at the Town Hall. Register at runsignup.com and we will see you Sunday in Troutman for the Jingle Run 5K. Trivia is back at Micaiah's in Mooresville on Tuesday, December 17th. Join me, Patrick Reynolds, host of the Home Ad Show, and Joe Berg, host of the Scoreboard, as we test your trivia knowledge with a fun game and prizes for the winners. Call your friends, form your team, or play solo. We'll see you at Micaiah's in Mooresville on Tuesday, December 17th for trivia with the WSIC on-air crew. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through Sunday, January 5th. The light show features more than 5 million lights synchronized to music on a 4-mile course through the oval, pit road, and infield. Plus drive-in movies on the gigantic Speedway TV, as well as a festive Christmas village. Speedway Christmas tickets and information are available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty continues now. Here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. Here live in studio at Purple Heart Homes with my good friend Sergeant Patrick Dixson with the Special Victims Unit. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
Thank you for having me.
Yesterday afternoon, you get the request, but you never turn us down. So we appreciate all that you do. In the Special Victims Unit, you guys have a lot of extra responsibilities this time of year.
Yes.
This cheery time of year. So
Yeah.
I know we talked about the rad stuff before a little bit, and if you guys have any questions about that, you can get us get some information from us at the sheriff's office. Go on our Facebook. You actually got the link on there that you can sign up. And any questions, let us know. We'd be glad to do that. But what's some of the tips you have for folks now that it's the holidays?
Right. So during the holiday season, everybody is visiting family. Whether you like them or not, they're still family, and they'll still show up to your house.
Pretend that you like them.
Yeah, or wherever it is that you guys are having a family gathering in the event that it's in Iredell County, right? So a lot of times this time of year, domestic violence is high, right? And, there's several reasons for that. I guess my primary theory is that everyone's around each other and people have their opinions about things that are happening in the world. And some people may agree or disagree with whatever may be happening. That gets tensions high and people tend to disagree and some people disagree violently. And that's why we're here, right? To make sure that everybody is safe. That's one thing. The other thing that I would really like to mention is, fraud is part of the Special Victims Unit.
Right.
This is a time of year that you're going to be seeing grandma and grandpa, or for, the people like myself, your mom or dad. If you haven't seen them in a while, check in. Not only from a physical standpoint, but check in to make sure, hey, have you been getting any calls from people that are odd? Did someone call you about your extended warranty on the Honda Accord that you don't own? Did you send someone money?
Right.
The amount
Did you miss jury duty?
Right.
So before I came over here, I got a phone call from a concerned citizen that had gotten that call, and they used one of our names that they got off the internet. Might have been my name, could have been anybody else, that they had missed jury duty, and they did the smart thing. Hung up, didn't give them information. Called the sheriff's office to verify that.
Good.
So I got to reach back out to him. I just left a voicemail.
Yes.
So don't answer those phone calls. Don't fall for those. You're missing a package but you didn't order anything. We all ordered lots of stuff this time.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's a link on your phone that you've missed a package, and it's not a .com or .gov.
It's a bunch of scrambled shenanigans.
Weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely check in on pretty much everybody too. And I'm glad you brought up the packages. You know, there's a lot of porch pirates, for lack of a better term. I'm not advocating for any certain brand, but some people have doorbell cameras or just cameras in general.
Right.
If this is something that concerns you, by all means, get online and find something. You can go to any local store. They're selling cameras everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And they're not overly expensive
No,
nowadays.
not really. And those is a great peace of mind because you're able to just bring up your camera right away on your phone and look and see what's going on. If that package comes and you get that doorbell that they ring, and those delivery companies are pretty good about doing that.
Right.
They'll take the time to do that. When they do that delivery, hey, my neighbor across the street's accepting my packages or something like that.
And a lot of times the delivery company will take a picture.
Yes. Send
which
it to
is
you.
very convenient.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome on their end.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that helps them with their culpability, I guess you'd say, liability. I left it right there.
It wasn't stolen.
That's the
when it was
package.
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
I left it, so I didn't take it. But yeah, those cameras, and so I know that it's deer season. And
that's news to me. I'm not a.
Oh, okay. Four-legged whitetail.
Yeah.
Some have horns.
Pointers
other
and all that
does.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're not talking about Rudolph and reindeers. We're talking about
Yeah. Well, see, Bumble is like my favorite Rudolph character. I love Bumble. Where are my Bumble fans at? Everyone loves Bumble.
Which one is Bumble?
The Abominable Snowman.
Oh, okay.
But come on, Captain Matt.
Well, I mean, I know that.
Put this man in front of a television.
I know that the little guy looks like Patrick Irwin, the other one.
Hermes.
Yes.
The dentist.
He does.
He's gonna be real offended by that.
Oh,
but luckily he's out actually doing solid police work.
Oh, good.
So he probably isn't watching.
Yeah, we will just edit that out, Joe.
Yeah. Edit. Super important on that one.
Okay. So deer cameras are out there, and they not only store the photos that if you got your barn or something like that on your home, but they can hook up to cell phones. And they can send you a picture of the deer in the woods or your shed out back or the property that you have somewhere that's gated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing, unfortunately that we're in a society or an era where we're trying to secure all our stuff. There's so many different ways that you can do that now.
Yeah. And it's so hard, my lieutenant who worked fraud for many years before I even began to think about working fraud told me that at this era, as you say, you're sacrificing security for convenience. You know how easy it is to get on your bank account on your phone? That's super convenient, but it's not the safest thing to do, right? So the camera system kind of works the same way. There's so many ways that things can be compromised this way, that way, the other, and quite frankly, I only know so much of it because it is constantly evolving.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of. You've showed me a few tips and techniques and tricks on the phones. We've got a new door lock at our home now that will unlock when I get in the driveway. And
that's convenient.
That's convenient, but it's not, because if I don't go in the house right away, then my door's unlocked. I mean, yes, it's great for the wife.
Yeah.
But I'm not going straight in the door a lot of times.
Right.
So I'm outside and then you leave and you trust that the internet will lock your door.
Yeah. Well, dang, the internet's been hit or miss for me lately. So who knows?
Down, and you're right. I understand. That's a great way of putting it. That you sacrifice security for convenience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's looking for that easier way. And I know there's a lot of online pay services out there where you can, use your card and tie a credit card into a bank card into. I'll just say them like PayPal and Shop and some of these other, even Google Pay.
Yeah.
And it stores all your information.
It does.
And that convenience, it's just like on Amazon where it says buy now. I mean, it's a one-click button.
Yeah.
And it's got all your information and it's zapped your money out and it's sending it out to you.
Yeah. And it'll tell you too. It'll text you if your phone's connected too.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I got a bunch of texts about the Christmas present I bought my wife. So.
Yep. Confirmation that it's happened.
Yes,
You got
it's happening. It will be here.
And that's good. You can sign up for those phone alerts as well to be able to ensure that what you're getting is what you're supposed to get, and it's not in the wrong information. But also you've got to check those things. I know from the time you're working in fraud, it's important to check your credit history.
It is.
But right now I've got so many purchases from the credit cards, or I mean, from the debit cards, that you've got to look and see, did I make that one? Did I make that one? So, because you're not waiting for a statement online, or you don't have the old ledgers anymore, you're too young to remember that. You have to write everything down.
I was familiarized with a checkbook, but I never really, never really kept track of it.
But I mean, it's great to have that online banking where you can actually look in it. And I know, like PayPal and some of the other ones, it gives you a alert on your watch. This just went through, so that's
Well,
went through.
And like you're saying, this time of year, I mean, we're buying so many things.
Yes,
I mean, it's like a nightly conversation with
Oh,
my
yeah.
wife. Like, what is this charge for whatever website she bought it off of?
right.
And I have to verify that it's
Oh, I know.
legitimate,
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and your personal emails get full of all those spams because
unsubscribe,
yeah,
unsubscribe,
oh gosh,
unsubscribe.
constantly,
Yeah.
because that one business you just bought from has sent it to 100 other businesses,
Of course.
and they've got your email address and they're trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
I had bought a knife online, and they sent a little flyer inside with that was for Big and Tall, the big club or
Why
something
not?
like that.
Why not?
Big King Club. So I took that
Big
straight-
King. Wow,
Yeah,
they promoted you.
Yeah, yeah.
Captain's one thing.
Well,
King is
I
another.
mean, this was like big. So this is Bill Hamby size.
Oh,
Yeah, Chief Bill. I just took it up to his office.
Okay.
Oh, hey, I like that. I bought that.
Chief
stuff.
Bill is a big king.
Yeah,
So
he
yes.
is. A BK.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now, like I said, we'll finish talking about. Oh, you said the your parents and grandparents and those folks.
Right.
What if something is off? What could be off? What could be going on with them as far as caregivers, medication, money, those accounts? I mean, what's some of the things that you would give tips to these folks that's going to check on their family members?
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the sad realities as we age is that sometimes you neglect the people that took care of you when you're younger. And it's an easy thing to do. You've got your own life. You're going at the speed of light, just trying to keep up with your own stuff. But this time of year is when you're seeing your grandparents. And one of the saddest realities of working the elder financial abuse stuff is that when we do call some of these victims and introduce ourselves and go through a verification process that we're not trying to scam them, you can just tell that some of them just want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I've been on the phone with people for hours,
Right.
just talking about their lives. And does it have anything to do with my case? No. But at the same time, they need to be talked to. And that's honestly one of the reasons that these scammers can benefit from that, because it's almost, and again, it's a very sad reality, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
But it's a sad reality that a lot of the times these the elder people that have no one to talk to, they're essentially paying for someone to talk to them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really, really sad. And there's times where I've reached out to the family and said, like, hey, I've talked to your grandma or whoever a little while, and it's no problem for me, but you should probably check in on them every so often.
Right. And especially because it's real. You get those reports, and it's sad when their bank account's been zapped.
Oh, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And they've got their, life savings and their Social Security and their limited budget, everything they've got. But they're so appreciative and helpful that, and some of these guys are straight up honest. Hey, I'm in South America, and I'd really like to have some money to get out of the country.
Yeah.
And grandma's like, okay, what do you need? And then it becomes more and more and more, and they're just constantly scamming those folks. So it's for real. Get an opportunity, check on the finances.
Yeah, try not to be too nosy. Some
Right,
people might
right.
get angry. I mean, we do get a bunch of angry people like, it's not your business. Understood.
Yep.
But we're just trying to make sure that
Yep.
you're being taken care of.
Yeah, just show the concern. Medication's always a big thing too. Make sure that they're taking what they've got and no one else is taking it or stealing it, because that happens quite often, or can happen as well. So, guys, we're going to be back in just a few minutes. Thank you.
More of The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell is coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
A lot of rain on the way overnight into the day on Wednesday. Some of that really can be quite heavy at times, too, along with gusty winds, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And we'll even keep an eye out for an isolated thunderstorm, too. Watch out for ponding on the roadways for the morning commute. Could cause hydroplaning. That rain steady, even heavy at times through the early afternoon. Then we start to dry it out. Temperatures will crash, falling like a rock from near 60 down to the 30s tomorrow night. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Harrison's is the home of Work, Western, and wow! We're the Southeast leader in Carhartt, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. The store is filled with Harriet, Cinch, Wrangler, and more. Get great clothing and footwear for the whole family at Harrison's. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
Family, quality, value. With a legacy of excellence for over 40 years, Horn Heating and Air Conditioning will make your house feel like a home. Welcome home to the feeling of HornHVAC.com.
Inspire your team and gallop to greatness. Our horses at Willow Equine are outstanding at working with people on leadership and team building skills, perfect for corporate retreats. Visit willowequine.com as you gallop to greatness.
The #1 station for people who say we're their favorite station.
WSIC.
Are you in constant pain, under constant stress? Just need a moment away? Repeat after me. Serenity Now Massage Therapy. SerenityNowMassageandWellness.com, with locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Some jitters today on Wall Street ahead of tomorrow's consumer inflation report for November, which will help the Federal Reserve decide whether to lower rates or not when policymakers meet again next week. Now, at the close, the Dow was down 154 points. That's about 1/3%. The NASDAQ lost 49, the S&P down by 18. The big gainer shares of the struggling drugstore chain Walgreens, the nation's biggest. Those shares up nearly 18% on reports it's in talks to sell itself to a private equity firm. Shares of big home builders moved lower today. That's after Toll Brothers forecast continued pricing pressures, and with home builders having to give away more incentives to buyers because of high interest rates. Toll Brothers shares today down 7%. Shares of D.R. Horton, Lennar, KB Home, and Pulte all down between 2 and 3%. And with the re-election of Donald Trump and his business-friendly policies, small business owner optimism surging in November to a 3-year high. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
It ain't easy being #1, but we make it look good.
WSIC.
Call now to speak with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell at 844-STUDIO-4. The good, the bad, and the guilty on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. We are live here in studio at the Purple Heart Homes. Our good friend Sergeant Patrick Dixson with the Special Victims Unit and all those things that they do over there. Do you know just how much it's grown since you got in? Because I know Sheriff added, he doubled the domestic violence, he doubled the economic crimes. We've got a couple new pieces of equipment and some other stuff with sex crimes.
Yep. I think when I first started, there was like 3 or 4 people.
Right.
In all of SBU, and now we're up to 12.
Yeah. So quadrupled, 4 times that. And that's not to say that we're getting bombarded with crime. It's just that as these cases come up, more and more take extra effort.
Absolutely.
Search warrants, again, the specialized type equipment and training that's needed. So having those is what keeps our clearance rate so low. being able to solve those cases. You know, historically, we always do more with less, but in certain areas like that, it's best to do as much as you can with as many as you can.
For sure.
So he continues adding those on.
And the reason for adding those many people is that even a typical fraud case will take months.
Oh yeah.
Just because, you know, we have to send search warrants to financial institutions or
Oh, yeah.
businesses. I think I just sent one to Shein or however the heck you pronounce that business.
Yep.
You know, we have to kind of wait for them to give us the data so that we can review it and make a decision, help
Right.
out our victims.
And
here.
some of these are far-reaching. These cases go overseas, other states, federal agencies may get involved. Even the sex crimes. There's some of the letter alphabet,
The Alphabet
law
Brigade.
Yeah, the alphabet law enforcement sometimes get involved with some of those things, and just with your child pornography cases and those type things, just the sheer amount of data, I guess we'll use that word, that comes up with those things that you're able to have. You know, that's a lot of stuff to go through.
It is. I mean, just think about how much you use Facebook just as a normal person. If we have reason to go through your Facebook, I've had Facebook things that are 30, 40,000 pages. And it's my job to look at every page. It takes time.
Oh,
It takes time and a lot of water breaks because, my goodness, your back will start hurting. But
no kidding.
sit there and stare at the screen and scroll and make sure there's nothing that we're missing.
Right, right. And I know Snapchat, what everybody uses now, they're pretty good about getting us information as well, right?
They are. They're relatively detailed. If
Right.
we ask for something, they're pretty decent at getting us.
Right.
And spoiler alert to anyone watching, Snapchat does not delete
Yeah.
what they claim to delete or what they tell the general public, which is very convenient when people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So yes, that's
So it's deleted from what I can see.
correct.
But someone somewhere at a server in Snapchat world has that.
Right.
Yeah.
And they save it for a certain amount of days.
Right.
And you know, I've had things where they saved it for years.
Right.
And that was very helpful for the case that I was working.
Exactly.
But yeah, don't think that's deleting from people if they actually need to see it.
So that's some valuable information, and I know that one of your detectives over there, one of the guys that does, Cody James does the Project Lifesaver.
He does that.
That's another big thing that's going on.
We have a bunch of little projects going on.
Yes, no kidding. So folks out there, it's a great time too. If you have you check on your family members, elderly folks, special needs children, or special needs anyone that are roamers. If they happen to, or wanderers, if they happen to kind of leave home, walk off, wander off, and you're not able to keep up with them, the Project Lifesaver is a program that the sheriff brought back with good old drug dealer money.
Again, completely free.
Yes, several years ago. No cost to you at the public. Cody James will come out and do all the information, put a tracking bracelet or anklet or wherever he or she will wear it, and it's able to track them by radio frequency if they leave the property. Now, it's not a GPS thing.
Right.
If you've got an elderly person or family member that you can get to carry a cell phone, then you can check them easily with any type of GPS control stuff. But this is for those that wander off and could end up in the woods or somewhere else or down the road or something.
Right. He's got this big old transformer thing that he carries around, and
yes,
it'll
exactly.
beep at him, and he can understand the beeping.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but Cody James and apps. Today's National App Day. You need to get our app. Our app is the one that you will appreciate for many things. Information is at your fingertips right away. Any type of programs, anything we've got going on, news updates, those come out. We can send those an alert. Anything that there's some type of serious incident, crime, something that the public needs to know about, we send that out right away. The sheriff said if there's any type of school issues or those things that you need, it's in your hands. It beeps, it goes off. You know about it. Also, the neat thing is checking out your neighbors for who's been arrested and who's on the sex offender registry. One of my personal favorites that sheriff's added is your school resource officer. I get to work with the SROs. And so those 30 individuals across our county, their lovely pictures are on there. Their emails are on there. The schools that they're at, you just click on those. It's Christmas time. There's guns being bought for family members and things. Those are great gifts. and you can get your concealed carry permit on the app. So that's another thing. Everything's done right there at the fingertips. But our app is the good one. There are some bad apps.
There are plenty of bad apps.
And so Cody James had come up. He took the sheriff's program, expanded that, added a few more. It used to be the Dangerous 15 apps, but now it's
right. I mean, there's countless apps that are constantly
there's no
being
number.
developed. But yeah, Cody, if for the people watching, I know some of us are just audio only, but for the people watching, he has a little PowerPoint presentation.
Oh yeah.
If you just want to take a quick glance. But yeah, he has 18 at this point that he's decided to specifically single out and just kind of let the public know about. Obviously, your repeat offenders, as I'll say, is Snapchat. You know, parents, if your kid has Snapchat, they're going to want that, right? Because these kids want to talk to their friends. They want to have the streaks and whatever else things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, it's something that you should probably monitor as closely as you can. Because it is very easy to talk to strangers. It's very easy to send something that you think is deleted. But you and I both know not only does it not delete, but you can, on the other end, take a screenshot of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, or you can get another phone to take a photo of it. There's plenty of ways for something sent to not be deleted.
Right.
So Snapchat's probably the one that most parents will see on their kids' phones. There's Ask FM. And that's kind of like a direct texting, you know, you can tell people to ask you questions. Like if Sergeant Pat got on Ask FM and he's like, hey, I'm Sergeant Pat, ask away. Ask any question. You're like, okay, well, what's your shoe size? You know, I can answer that. You can also ask, like, what's your age, location, you know, all this.
Is this a person to person, or is it like a forum where everybody can see?
So to my understanding, it's just, you know, you put out the question.
Yeah.
Or you put out your username and anyone can ask you anything. So as you can imagine, that can get a little dicey.
Very much so.
I don't really necessarily see a reason for a kid to have that at all. I'll be very honest with you. Like you said, I'm a parent myself.
Right.
I'll be honest in terms of some of these apps on here, like Instagram. There are legitimate purposes for Instagram and Snapchat and X/Twitter and all some of these apps.
And TikTok. I mean, you can learn to do some fishing. You can learn to cook. You can
do recipes. Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So stuff like that. You know, these apps, I don't want parents to immediately see them and, you know, clutch their pearls and gasp and really be upset. Particularly, you know, in my spare time, I like to play video games. Some of that I do on the computer. There's an application called Discord. Now, this one is a very double-edged sword. Discord is specifically designed for people to play video games and talk to their friends and everything else. The problem is that it is very easy to talk to people that you do not know and send pictures and videos and everything.
Is this
else.
like the headsets that you're wearing while you're playing Call of Duty and you're talking to the other people on there? Is that
so? That would be more like just audio, video, or audio chat, voice chat through Xbox or PlayStation or whatever else. You can still send people messages, and if parents feel comfortable doing that, I would welcome you to go on your kid's Xbox or PlayStation account and just kind of see what messages.
Right.
Generally speaking, it's going to be someone calling your kid trash at the video game, or vice versa. Well, at least that's what mine are. It's just a bunch of people saying I'm bad.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, feel free if that's something you have access to, look into it. But just keep an eye on the apps. I think it would be good practice to just kind of go through every now and then and just keep an eye on what your kids are doing. It's so easy for kids to just be online.
Oh yeah.
And we all know the kid that's like terminally online, never goes outside, never touches grass.
Got to have a neck injury because they're just all the time.
And the indentation on the top of their head from their headset, you know. But you know, to each their own. But I would definitely say
we offer this class free of charge. We'll come out to your church groups, your business groups. We'll put one on and we'll invite you guys if that's what you want. But this is a great opportunity to talk about it. Bottom line, get to know about what's on your kids' phones and check them out. You know, there's no passwords. Look at it. There's an app, the calculator app, that's actually you open it up and there's hidden browsers and places to stay pictures. So I'm getting the signal. We'll be back right shortly.
There's more of the good, the bad, and the guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
A lot of rain on the way overnight into the day on Wednesday. Some of that really could be quite heavy at times, too. Long gusty winds, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And we'll even keep an eye out for an isolated thunderstorm, too. Watch out for potting on the roadways for the morning commute. Could cause hydroplaning. That rain steady, even heavy at times through the early afternoon. Then we start to dry it out. Temperatures will crash falling like a rock from near 60 down to the 30s tomorrow night. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Embrace the magic of the season at a classic Christmas in Mooresville on Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. in the heart of downtown. Traditional holiday activities such as ice skating, horse-drawn wagon rides, Santa visits, food vendors, warm beverages, and carolers are all part of the festivities. A classic Christmas in Mooresville promises a nostalgic and heartwarming experience for the whole family this Friday in downtown. Join the Gingerbread House Workshop this Saturday in downtown Statesville. Fun Christmas activities for kids take place at 10:30 a.m., 11:15, and noon at the Watering Hole on West Broad Street. All supplies are provided and fun for all ages. Registration is required. Visit Gingerbread Workshop for Kids on Facebook for details. The Town of Troutman Jingle Run 5K takes place on Sunday. The race will run through the Town of Troutman starting at the Town Hall. Register at runsignup.com and we will see you Sunday in Troutman for the Jingle Run 5K. Trivia is back at Micaiah's in Mooresville on Tuesday, December 17th. Join me, Patrick Reynolds, host of the Home Ad Show, and Joe Berg, host of the Scoreboard, as we test your trivia knowledge with a fun game and prizes for the winners. Call your friends, form your team, or play solo. We'll see you at Micaiah's in Mooresville on Tuesday, December 17th for trivia with the WSIC on-air crew. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through Sunday, January 5th. The light show features more than 5 million lights synchronized to music on a 4-mile course through the oval, pit road, and infield. Plus drive-in movies on the gigantic Speedway TV, as well as a festive Christmas village. Speedway Christmas tickets and information are available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now, back to more of The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty with Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome back, folks, for our final segment here on The Good, Bad, and the Guilty. This is the time where we will go over some of our press releases. It's been a really busy week. There's been a lot of things that we've put out, some to social media, some to media only. I've got those here. I do want to go ahead and hit the biggie, the big one first, and that was the one that we actually put out on our app with an alert. That was a first-degree murder case, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and everyone from I like it. Look at that. This is the way to do it.
He's flexing on us.
Yes, look at that. Joe's got the special press release for this special one. So this is the Joey Brewer case. The Myrtle Place Apartments was a murder from 2011, and this is one of the things that the sheriff's office was able to close this case, give the family some closure, and this is one of those. There were 2 suspects. I mean, yeah, read all about it. Yeah. But I want to save this for next week when the sheriff will be on. I know that's there were several detectives that worked on this case. Not any of you guys, or not you. No. So I'm sure he'll want to bring some of those detectives on to talk about that. So you can read what we put out on Facebook and on the press releases. But that is actually a big deal that I'd like the sheriff to talk about next week.
For sure.
So tune in for that. So what have you got there, Sergeant Pat?
Well, I've got a nifty little press release here about some marijuana and driving while license revoked. Evidently, Tyrone Dye and Franklin Smyer were stopped by some of the deputies in our ACE team, our aggressive criminal enforcement, and those boys are just they exhaust me.
Yes.
And I'm not even involved in it, but they're just constantly driving around looking for people that are violating the law and initiate traffic stops, and you would be surprised how much stuff they find.
Oh yeah.
And this is one of them. So they stopped these 2 young men and charged them with felony possession of marijuana, misdemeanor possession of marijuana paraphernalia, a misdemeanor charge of possession of marijuana, and driving while their license was revoked. So good job, ACE team boys.
Yep. Yeah, those guys, sheriffs has those special teams.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to call them experts because I know we've got the interstate criminal enforcement that does the interdiction, and they are able to find these dope runners, gun runners, cash movers up and down the interstate. But some of this stuff happens right here in our own community, right in our backyard.
Driving back roads.
Exactly. So the ACE team will go into the neighborhoods, the communities, whichever city it may be inside of Iredell County. They do all of the stuff that you know those down in the ditches, in the weeds type things. A lot of surveillance, a lot of working with narcotics, knock and talks, traffic checkpoints.
Yeah.
In those high crime areas, and just street side interdiction, I guess you'd say.
Yes.
That they're able
That's
to do.
exactly what it is.
Yeah. And those guys are very eager. I tell you, I've had lunch with them before, and they cut it short. I try to do Taco Tuesday,
Yeah.
but those boys want to go make some cases.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
and that's what they'll get at. So speaking of making cases in the ACE team, and the information that you give us on the app and anywhere, ICSO info, email, you can send us an email, you can hit us up on Facebook, any information you get to us, we follow up on. So here we got an anonymous tip from a concerned citizen about drug activity at 731 Stonecrest Drive in Statesville. Deputies again with the aggressive criminal enforcement team promptly responded to the residents to investigate, and they found that the homeowner had several guests in the home. Probably not the greatest guest to have in your home, but the homeowner did cooperate, and a search of the residence yielded 15.66 grams of methamphetamine, 2.57 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, and some marijuana and other drug paraphernalia. So possession with intent to sell and deliver methamphetamine, possession of Schedule 1, and then the other charges. And so this is Miss Valerie Pringinger, 48 years old.
There are a lot of words that are hard to spell.
Yes, that's one of those things. So she got $40,000 bond, and then Angel with 4 or 5 more names there.
Yes.
So $40,000 bond. Angel Gustavo Valenzuela Jimenez. That's pretty good. So these were guests there at the home, not the homeowner there. But if you see something, say something. You let us know about those cases. We can follow up on them. We take all of them seriously. That's another reason why you need the app. You can find out about if your neighbor was arrested, and any time that you've got that information you want to forward on to us or ask us those questions. Finally, a felony conspiracy to possess with intent to sell or deliver methamphetamine. So, what's conspiracy? Give us a detective. What does that mean?
No, I'm not doing that. You're putting me on the spot. I'm not Webster's.
Oh, well, I mean, you don't have to define it, but I mean, that's where
you were involved. I'll say that you were certainly involved if you're conspiring to do that.
You're part of it. So
yes.
So what you have here is a 10-month long investigation into the distribution of crystal meth in and around Iredell County, and so this began in February of 24. Working not only with the Sheriff's Office investigators and narcotics, Alexander County Sheriff's Office, Davie County Sheriff's Office, North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations, and the Winston-Salem Police Department. So they were able to find a lot of information from social media outlets.
Yeah.
Bad guys like to put out there what they're doing and where they're
I
at.
don't understand all that, but hey, appreciate you.
That's exactly right. You let us know what you got and where it's at. So cell phone records. So, yep, there it is. And who you calling, and detention center calls. So while you're in jail, you shouldn't call your drug dealer or talk about.
Keep doing it.
Go ahead. Talk about your drug deals. That's good. So they were able to get 2 pounds of crystal methamphetamine, and they charged several folks: Emily Ann Millsaps, Cody James Matheson, Joel Ray Starbuck Jr., Peyton Rose Swantes, Summer Dawn Scott, Ronald Delane Bryant, Brandy Lynn Miller. And so these folks, big bonds, $100,000 conspiracy charge. So I don't think she's been on meth for very long. She doesn't have that
pick marks and all that good stuff
look yet. Mr. Matheson here's got the lovely artwork.
Yep.
So, and Mr. Starbuck. So these folks are from Alexander County, Statesville, Taylorsville Highway here, Schwantes, Dillinger Drive, was Summer Scott. So each one of these bonds were representative of the cases that they were able to make on them, and so just you see something, you say something.
Yeah.
We're going to investigate these things. If the drugs are out there, we want to find them. We want to make sure we get those drug dealers off the street. Yeah.
I tell you what, that'll just show you how long we're willing to investigate something.
Oh yeah,
You know, I mean,
absolutely.
10 months is
10
not a
months.
short time.
Right.
So they
Well,
clearly were doing everything, crossing T's and dotting I's on that
yes,
one.
and all those records you were talking about, just like in your line of work, this compiled information from cell phones, social medias. There could be some Facebook, the pages and pages of Facebook on there.
Yeah.
So that's good information. And again, this was I'm not sure where all the information come from. Probably started from a tip. Somebody said something.
Very valuable.
And exactly right. So we're we are indebted to you guys, and you're just doing the right thing. Keeping your
You
community
guys have
safe.
more eyes on the streets than we do.
Right.
So any tip, any information you can provide is always helpful.
Well, we've only got a few more minutes, Sergeant Pat. So anything special you're doing for the holidays?
I don't know. I don't keep my own schedule. Again, I guess that's
You'll have to see what the wife has
a
in
better
store for you.
question for yes, my manager.
Exactly.
No, I think just typical stuff. Just
Okay.
hanging out with family, that sort of thing. We got that rad class coming up
Right.
in January.
January 11th and 12th.
Yeah, don't be intimidated by
Right.
me saying there's a lot of people. We have had classes as big as 35, 40 people.
Right,
So,
right.
and like Captain Matt said, we do get a lot of people that drop for
Right.
whatever reason, and that no harm to
Day
us.
1, 8 to 5, at our new sheriff's office annex up there on Wilkesboro Highway, just above 40 there. So day 1, 8 to 5. Lots of hands-on, working with partners, bags, punches, hitting, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Day 2 is where you get beat up.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, day 2 is
Yeah. They don't get beat up, but they get to beat up on you.
No, yeah, I'm just a
Yeah.
big old punching dummy.
And I talked with a young lady about that the other day, and I wanted to the importance behind that is the empowerment that you have defeated the bad guy, because you've had the training on how to wrap them up, so to speak. So if you grab them like simulate a bad guy grabbing you, then you've learned that technique, but you've only practiced it with your partner. Now you're practicing it on a real person that's not going to give up unless you do exactly, do your techniques.
Do what you can.
And so once you've defeated him, then that's an empowerment. That's emboldening you that, hey, I've done it before. And, when we train muscle memory. The more times you do things, the better you get at it. We do due to our training and experience. Experience matters. So I encourage you ladies to stick around, come back for that next day, even watch or see or be a part of it. There's it's good training. It's good training.
It is.
And,
And we always have a good time.
Right.
It can be a little intimidating at first because there's a bunch of information thrown at you, a bunch
Right.
of new techniques, things
Right.
that people may not have done before. We've always had people that have never thrown a punch.
And in the
which makes
beginning,
you-
it's a mind thing. It's like putting them in the frame of mind of, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to be a winner. Situational awareness.
I'm going to survive.
Right. Situational awareness. What's around me. Pay attention. This whole staring at the cell phone. No, you want to be up looking. Eyes around.
Yeah,
So,
that's my favorite part of the class.
yeah.
I know that sounds boring, but I do think the PowerPoint and
Yeah.
telling you what to look out for
Right.
is
Yeah.
very important and very interesting. And we have a lot of for lack of a better term, good cop stories to kind of
yeah.
explain why
Yeah.
we're saying certain things.
And there's
So
going to be about 4 or 5 of you guys instructing that.
I sure do hope so. I know I'll be there.
So, hey, if you got any questions, give us a call. Sergeant Pat, our expert in all these things. So he'll answer your questions. Call me, I'll get you to him. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Come back next week, and we'll talk more about that murder case. And again, have a great week. Thank you.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W264CU Statesville.
DrumLandscapeSupply.com. DrumLandscapeSupply.com. DrumLandscapeSupply.com.
Honey, what are you doing?
Oh, I figured if I rubbed my lawn and said DrumLandscapeSupply.com, I'd have the dream lawn I've always wanted.